Welcome to Knockhill Racing Circuit for the third round of the Scottish Formula Ford Championship. Now, we've had beautiful weather all weekend so far. The Formula Fords have just lined up and the rain has just arrived, so we have a full wet surface, but that cloud's disappeared and it's now sunny again. On pole position is a great performance. Kenny Cowie was impressive last meeting, but Kenny, pole position this morning, it's a great result.
Yeah, really happy with it. I mean, third ever meeting, we put it right on pole position, so couldn't ask for any more than that.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
And with that, Richard's Formula Fords heading your way.
Thanks very much, Joe. Kenny Cowie, congratulations to him on a maiden pole position. It's Ross Martin alongside, then Jordan Gronkowski and Keith Donegan, row 2. Matthew Chisholm and Neil Broom on row 3 from Clay Mitchell and Sebastian Melrose. James Scott Murphy from Michael McPherson. Then Ross Howe, Fraser Gray and Ben Paliwoda completing the 13-car entry. Some very welcome guests from the National Formula Ford Championship, but a couple of those non-starting here. James Scott Murphy, Ben Paliwoda not starting. We do, though, have an exciting race in prospect with Kenny Cowie from his first pole. Championship leader, Ross Martin alongside, then Jordan Gronkowski. Keith Donegan on the outside of row 2, the guest driver looking to make an impact as the lights go on. It's a very long wait here for race 1. Eventually the lights go out, and I think a pretty good clean start by all concerned for round 5 of the Scottish Formula Ford 1600, part of the Mazda Road to Indy feeder series. Whoever wins the championship will go to the Road to Indy shootout, and the race leader is Kenny Cowie. Held his nerve magnificently off the start. Ross Martin second, coming under pressure from Jordan Gronkowski. Then it's Keith Donegan, followed by Matthew Chisholm, Neil Broom, and then it's Clay Mitchell in the number 20 car, the Glaswegian. 2 podia so far for Clay. Right behind him is Sebastian Melrose. When you think how far Melrose is back on the grid, for my money, this is one of the most competitive championships we've had for years, as Gronkowski looks around that outside line of the championship leader Ross Martin, but Ross grabs the line. All clean, fair stuff. Through the spray they come, up into 4th position ahead of Matthew Chisholm. Now goes Neil Broom. Excellent move then by Broom. Chisholm coming under pressure from Sebastian Melrose, and they tangle, and there's a clatter between the two cars, and the inside wheel is off. Chisholm's car is very much askew. The only consolation that Matthew Chisholm is right by the entrance to the pit lane. The man who is 4th in the championship, Matt Chisholm, is out of the race. The second retirement of the year. Seb Melrose here, up ahead of guest driver Keith Donegan. Keith, who I had the pleasure of commentating on a couple of seasons ago in Ginetta Junior, but we've got a battle on for the lead here. Ross Martin challenging Kenny Cowie. Cowie is wide at the moment, a wide line into, and contact between Kenny Cowie and Ross Martin, and off goes Martin. Well, to my mind, that didn't look like Cowie did anything wrong. He was pretty much holding his line from that angle. We probably need to look from other angles to get the full picture, but the championship leader is out of the race. So Kenny Cowie surviving not only the start from his maiden pole, but also the attentions of Ross Martin. Jordan Gronkowski therefore in second, and will fancy his chances of returning to the top step of the podium. And in fact, really, as far as Jordan's concerned, it'll be a return to the podium, because we haven't seen him there for a while. Jordan, best result so far this year, 4th position in round 2, 5th position in round 1, and a retirement in round 3. And because we have that stricken 11 car on the way into the hairpin, Ross Martin's car, you can see it there towards the top right of shot, the SMRC officials deploying the safety car slow things down, makes things much safer for driver and the marshals who are in attendance there. Sensible decision, and it means that we've got 4 laps of action to complete once the safety car lights are off. Well, the lights are off now. We're ready for the restart of round 5 of the championship. Triple header this weekend with the David Leslie Trophy comprising round 7. This is new territory for Kenny Cowie, leading after the safety car. He can nail it now as he comes out of the hairpin. Jordan Gronkowski behind. You can see the drying line on the track. It means if effectively you've got to go offline to make a pass. There are some parts of the track drier than others, and Cowie made a very good job there off the restart. Gronkowski is second, Neil Broom in third place, and challenging Jordan Gronkowski here, not too far behind, has a good look there, but they come down through Scotsman. Gronkowski goes wide onto the curbs and through into second place goes Neil Broom. Broom up into second, looking for a maiden podium this season as well. Picked up briefly there on Ross Howe, being followed by Fraser Gray towards the back of the field, and you can see the spray still evident on the track. The race leader though is Kenny Cowie. Second place now is Neil Broom. Sebastian Melrose is up into third. Jordan Gronkowski coming under pressure from Keith Donegan. Textbook stuff from Keith down the inside line. You can see that standing water there on the way in. Clay Mitchell wanting to get stuck in as well. So Seb Melrose, who started down in 8th on the grid, doing a super job of working his way through the field, but Cowie looking very good here. Melrose now up into third. The yellow helmet driver is looking on that outside line. There's pressure on from Neil Broom, who looks as if he wants to go through the middle, runs a little bit wide. A tap of the wheels with Seb Melrose, and Neil Broom holds on to second place. Coming up in the mix as well now is Keith Donegan, but it's Kenny Cowie who takes his first win. Cowie wins, Broom, Melrose, Donegan, Clay Mitchell was next from Ross Howe. Well, after judicials, the race win was taken away from Kenny Cowie. It means that Neil Broom took his maiden win. Congratulations to him from Seb Melrose, Keith Donegan, Clay Mitchell, Ross Howe in 5th, from Fraser Gray 6th, and Jordan Gronkowski completing the finishes.
Scottish Formula Ford race number 2. These guys have got 3 races today, remember, and this race will decide the grid for the David Leslie race coming a little bit later on. And after the exclusion of Kenny in race 1, Neil Broom took his maiden race win and therefore his maiden pole position here in race 2. But expect to see fighting back Ross Martin from his disastrous race 1. He's got a point to prove, starting a little bit further back. I'll hand it to Richard and he'll take us through all the action.
You have to say, an optimistic looking Ross Martin there. He starts at the back of the grid. Ahead of him, of course, Neil Broom on pole, Sebastian Melrose, Keith Donegan and Clay Mitchell, Ross Howe and Fraser Gray, followed by Jordan Gronkowski, Michael McPherson, Ross Martin, Matthew Chisholm on row 5, then James Scott Murphy, Ben Palawoda and Kenny Cowie following his exclusion, driving incompatible with general safety, the verdict from the race official. So Kenny with work to do. But I thought, you know, good pole position for him, and he's had the experience of taking the checker, so he knows what he has to do off the front. Should that happen again, here we go, I'm sure it will. Lights out, and it's Neil Broom that leads away. Keith Donegan non-starting this one, so a gap on the second row of the grid. It's a very good start indeed by Seb Melrose, who grabs the lead. Melrose, another driver, looking for a first win. Bearing car number 11 is Ross Martin, already making progress through the field. But it's Melrose. Clay Mitchell dives down the inside of Neil Broom and straight into the gravel. He was on the brakes and gently glances the tyre wall. Clay Mitchell is our first retirement of race 2. So Mitchell sadly is out, receiving the attention of the marshals. I don't think there's going to be any chance of getting Clay back out on track. Look at Seb Melrose lead. Huge lead from Sebastian Melrose. Second position now is Ross Howe in car number 29. Super start from Ross from 5th on the grid, the 4th car on the grid, of course, because Keith Donegan non-starting this one. Neil Broom side by side with him. Broom on the inside, right of shot as we watch those two cars going up the hill. And Broom, it is, I think, that's going to consolidate that second position. They're followed by Ross Howe, and already making progress is Ross Martin, who is up into 4th place. What a sensational set of opening laps by the championship leader Ross Martin. So Martin here from the very back of the grid, and a little mistake there from Ross Howe, and Ross Martin goes through and he's already in a podium position, but he'll be watching Sebastian Melrose, who is away and down the road. Neil Broom is still there in second. Ross Martin must fancy his chances of second place with the progress he's made so far. By the way, Keith Donegan got fastest lap in race number 1. So some great racing to be had this weekend. Michael McPherson putting the pressure on. Matthew Chisholm coming through as well, the black and blue car. So Matthew making progress after his early retirement from race 1. But on this last lap, Ross Martin in red, unsurprisingly, has the fastest lap, and he's putting the pressure on Sebastian Melrose. Martin looks to the outside line. Melrose is going to have to hold his nerve here. He's looking for his first win. Is he going to hang on? Ross Martin's going to try and have to run up the inside now. Melrose comes across, and Seb Melrose just takes his first win. Wow, 3 first-time winners effectively, if you include the exclusion in 2 races. Sebastian Melrose wins. Ross Martin in second. Kenny Cowie comes home in third. Great drive from Kenny with Ross. Jordan Gronkowski next from Matthew Chisholm. Michael McPherson from Neil Broom. He finishes 7th from Ross Howe, Fraser Gray. James Scott Murphy completes the top 10. Fastest lap goes to Ross Martin.
Seb Melrose, finally, race winner, well done. Really, really tough conditions. You were gone. I know how difficult it is when you're gone and you can see them coming. Just didn't feel for you. I really felt for you. I wouldn't want to be in that position.
No, it's really a horrible feeling when you know there's nobody behind you but you're still looking in your mirrors. It's like, honestly, it's such a weight off my shoulders getting that race win. I can't believe it.
And defending, it's not easy. Ross was trying everything there, but you had all the bases covered.
Yeah, Ross is such a good driver, and like I say, he's a friend as well, but I knew he was going for it and I was not letting that space go. And, you know, I'm looking forward to the next race.
It gives you pole position for the biggest race of the year here.
Yeah, that's 2 pole positions I've got today, twice. So in the National I'm pole and also in the SMRC. So,
big afternoon for you.
Yeah, I know. Also, I'd like to say happy birthday to my dad. He's standing over there. I hope this is a good present for him. He deserves more, but this is all I can do.
I did see him and he looked delighted.
Yeah, I know. I was in tears when I came out of the car. You know how it feels. It's such a relief getting that first win.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. Yeah.
Well done, Seb.
Thank you.
Next up we have the David Leslie Trophy race. This is a prestigious Formula Ford race in Scotland, the most prestigious Formula Ford race in Scotland every single year. And on pole position is Seb Melrose after his great victory in race 2. The whole grid is set from race number 2, their finish in order, which puts Ross Martin, in fact, in second place. He's going to be determined to win this one from the front row of the grid. I want to step this way and find this young man here, the David Leslie Cadet Marshal Award, Junior Marshal of the Year. This is a big event for you and obviously enjoying the racing?
Yep, I am. It's good fun.
And tell us how you got your badge there for the David Leslie Cadet Marshal Award.
I've been a Cadet Marshal for 2 years now, and the Alton Park Chief Marshal decided to put me forward as Cadet of the Year because I was kind to the other marshals, I was polite, well-mannered, and polite to the drivers as well.
Good stuff. It's good to see another member of the Orange Army, the youngest one that I've ever seen. I'm going to have a quick word with Seb Melrose on pole position. I know he's going to be quite nervous. Seb, this is a big chance for you. You had your first race win last time out, so confidence is going to be fairly high. Pole position, can you hang on?
I think I can, yeah. I'm just going to try and get off to a good start and keep it up front the whole race, basically.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And with that, I'll hand it to Richard. Here comes the David Leslie Trophy race.
Thanks very much, Joe. The one that they all want to win. Sebastian Melrose has the advantage in the early stages with pole, Ross Martin alongside, then Kenny Cowie and Jordan Gronkowski from Matthew Chisholm and Michael McPherson. Neil Broom 7th. Ross Howe is 8th from Fraser Gray and James Scott Murphy. Ben Palawoda, Clay Mitchell and Keith Donegan aiming to complete the grid. Sadly, though, we have lost the National Championship runners not taking part in this race. It means that Clay Mitchell's got some gaps ahead of him as he looks to try and reclaim positions from the back of the field after a non-finish in race number 2. The lights are still on. Out go the lights and off the line goes Sebastian Melrose with a good start. Melrose leads from Ross Martin, Kenny Cowie, then it is Jordan Gronkowski from Matthew Chisholm, Michael McPherson in behind them in black as well, and on the line problems for Neil Broom, the race 1 winner. Neil's going to have to take home the memories of that race 1 win. Fraser Gray being chased at the moment in these early stages by Clay Mitchell. Here's Ross Martin's on board, second position, fastest lap and a great drive from the back in race number 2, and piling the pressure on Sebastian Melrose. He goes to the outside line, but they're going to be greeted with safety car boards. Lock up from Kenny Cowie. Gets it all checked up safely, though, which is the main thing. And the safety car is for the recovery of Neil Broom's car, which must have something seized on it because the marshals, try as they may, haven't been able to move it. Well done to our marshals. A big thank you. And great to hear our young marshal that we've got a new generation of marshals coming through as well and being acknowledged. Well, you can see the rear is locked up on Neil Broom's car. As I say, he's going to focus on the fact that he won race number 1. A super drive from him there. Safety car lights out. We're ready for the resumption of action here at Knockhill, the 2017 David Leslie Trophy, appropriately part of the Super Touring Car Festival. It's been a mega weekend of racing, and that about to continue with Seb Melrose up ahead of Ross Martin. Martin, the championship leader, remember. Watch for the green flag on the gantry. We do go green. We are racing again. There is Clay Mitchell, who needs to get stuck in. Fraser Gray, the first man that he wants to try and pass. But a good start then by Sebastian Melrose, who leads. And in fact, great work already by Clay Mitchell, who has got past Fraser Gray. And up in the distance, a change for the lead. Ross Martin is through into lead position. Martin passes Melrose. Kenny Cowie third, then Jordan Gronkowski, followed by Matthew Chisholm. But it is the number 11 car, Ross Martin, who leads this one. Melrose goes back on the attack, wants to try and get the position back. He's got his mirrors full of black, though, because Kenny Cowie is there in third place. Remember, Cowie was pole position at the start of the meeting, so he knows. A lot of drivers will have information, data, confidence in their heads from what they've done earlier. For Ross Martin, he knows that he leads the championship. He knows he's got the form from race 2. There's Michael McPherson now up ahead of Matthew Chisholm. McPherson, the youngest driver to pass his ARDS course here at Knockhill, comes from Inverness. He was 6th in round 1 of the year, then had a retirement, 10th and 9th in rounds 3 and 4. Another retirement in race 1, but second, 6th position in race 2, and looks like he's on for a good result again. Jordan Gronkowski, the winner of the David Leslie Trophy back in 2013, on the outside line of Kenny Cowie. Michael McPherson up the inside line, goes through. McPherson now ahead of Matthew Chisholm. Gronkowski goes wide, loses a place to McPherson, loses out to Matthew Chisholm as well. Clay Mitchell trying to join in as well. Well, out front it is still Ross Martin, but Kenny Cowie is looking to the outside line. Now, I was saying that Martin will be buzzing from that drive in race number 2. Cowie will still be buzzing from pole position and taking the checker, albeit having it taken away from him in race number 1. Seb Melrose will have the confidence, of course, from winning race 2. So there's going to be lots of buzzing amongst the field. A big challenge on for the lead there. And having a very good look indeed was Kenny Cowie. Goes back to the outside line as they come down into Scotsman Corner, heading up into Butchers now. And it's the championship leader, Ross Martin, who's still there. Cowie clatters the curb a tad there. Doesn't seem to throw any momentum off. We've still got Seb Melrose in third. Fine racing, fine conditions as well. What a contrast to what we had at the start of the meeting. And Ross Martin looking to add his name to the who's who of Scottish Formula Ford. Neil McLennan, winner of this race in 2016. Adam Mackay the year before. Kieran Haggerty, as on the inside line there again goes Matthew Chisholm. Kieran Haggerty won it in 2014. Jordan Gronkowski, as mentioned, in 2013. Graham Carroll and Kenny Thirlwall before that. And still some great racing to be had. McPherson all over the back of Chisholm. Kenny Cowie closing in again on Ross Martin. And this is also bringing Sebastian Melrose into the mix too. There is Michael McPherson having a look there at Chisholm. So a three-way battle between Matthew Chisholm, Michael McPherson, Jordan Gronkowski. Very nearly a four-way battle because Clay Mitchell's trying to tag himself onto the back of that group. Top 3 out front, a little bit of space between them, so really the closest battle, this one that we're looking at. Matthew Chisholm still there, but Michael McPherson very eager indeed, looks to the outside line here and will try it. Chisholm holds sway though in 4th position, chasing hard and closing. Clay Mitchell definitely closing up on them. McPherson has a look on the inside line, but that effectively blocked by Chisholm as the race leaders go down Duffus once again, and through on the inside line into the lead goes Kenny Cowie. We're on board with Ross Martin. Kenny Cowie goes through and reclaims the lead that he had, of course, back in race number 1. So the man who set pole position at the start of the meeting back in front. But Ross Martin here, Ross Martin started in second position on the grid, gained the lead, but now he's back in second. And it's Kenny Cowie who leads this one. Cowie keeping it tight as they run down towards the hairpin. And this is bringing now Seb Melrose into the mix as well. Melrose looks wide. And they go through the hairpin and about to head up the hill. Well, there they go. What a super race round. It's the last lap now. Beckons for these two cars with Kenny Cowie leading, but Ross Martin's going to have a look down the inside line. Nothing doing at the moment. Cowie's still there as they head down into Duffers. The back end goes. Oh, no. Massive roll for Ross Martin. Kenny Cowie's okay. He's out of the car and straight away, look at Kenny Cowie, straight away over to help his fellow competitor. Commendable stuff from Kenny Cowie. The back end just went and over the top. A multi-roll for Ross Martin, the championship leader. Let's hope that he is okay, but marshals are always on the scene quickly. But what about Kenneth Cowie? Straight out of his car and straight over to him. Here's the onboard from Ross. So coming down into Duffers, the back end on the 96 car goes, they clatter. There was nothing either driver could do about that. Wow. Well, there's the best news of the day is that Ross Martin is okay, and Kenny Cowie, hats off to him for going straight over. Checkered flag though on the David Leslie Trophy. It's going to be Sebastian Melrose. Our congratulations to him on the win. Matthew Chisholm second. Michael McPherson takes a podium with third place ahead of Jordan Gronkowski. Here's the result: Melrose, Chisholm, McPherson, Gronkowski, Clay Mitchell in fifth from Fraser Gray and Ross Howe. Very hard lines indeed to Ross Martin and indeed Kenneth Cowie. Both of those two will resume action with us in July, which we look forward to. But our 2017 David Leslie Trophy winner is Sebastian Melrose, who delightedly will climb to the top step of the podium to claim that very prestigious award for 2017.
Seb Melrose, what a rollercoaster of a day you've had. Your first win, now your second win. The David Leslie Trophy is yours. Your name will be getting added to the previous winners on this trophy. It's just been an emotional rollercoaster. You're going to sleep tonight.
I don't know if I'll sleep tonight, that's the thing. Honestly, this is probably the most important win in Formula Ford for the Scottish Championship. This trophy, this win has been a dream of mine since I started Formula Ford 3 years ago. This is the David Leslie Trophy. It is. I watch that guy on YouTube every night. He's such a hero in the sport, and it's such a pleasure to have my name on his trophy.
Well done, really, really well done. And not only on this race, but on the weekend, you've come of age today.
Thanks a lot. It's honestly been crazy. It has been so good, but thanks to everyone, thanks to my sponsors, Master, they were here yesterday supporting me. Wow, thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you.
Stay with us while I quickly say to everybody, thanks for watching. There's the trophy taken home by Seb Melrose. Make sure you tune in next time for plenty more Formula Ford action.